Yeah, just like I'm just asking everybody around here to step up their game. Like that's like it's great when you're putting up national championships and everybody thinks you're the greatest. The players actually need us the most right now. And I have the best pitching coach or one of the most successful pitching coaches of the modern era. I have a great analytics guy, but we needed to get better. And so we sat together for 3 hours on Monday and itemized about 6 things and put them to work. And you do it with that dude, he's gonna do that. Like he's really good. And you know, we Coach Yeski did a spectacular job calling pitches tonight. And it's like the video game thing. You can do whatever you want. I'm not a video game guy, but like Bo Jackson and Tecmo Bowl. I remember being 11 years old and handing the ball to Bo Jackson. Like when you got a pitcher executing like that, that's what it was like.
Just like whenever Gavin Guidry spoke after a ULL game, I could go all day talking about the performance Casey Evans had last night, but why not listen to the man himself talk about how important Casey Evans is to this 2026 LSU baseball team? Shout out to John Eads, and thank you for allowing me to use that content, buddy. But a lot of the haters got real quiet last night. A lot of people who talked about moving Casey Evans to the bullpen and moving him to the Sunday role got real quiet last night. Now, some people still had the gall to say he's not a Friday guy. I know it was Thursday, whatever, but he's a Friday guy. A lot of them got real quiet last night. It was good to see. You saw the Casey Evans we have all been waiting to see. Now, last week against Vanderbilt on the road, that wasn't the Casey Evans that we were all, dying to see. It's true. But it starts against Milwaukee, Sacramento State. The Sacramento State game gets overlooked just because of the offensive onslaught against Dartmouth. Casey Evans has had nothing but quality starts until the Vanderbilt game. As LSU baseball fans, we all need to relax. And also remember that if he doesn't go out and strike out 15 next Thursday, it's okay. Let me give you an idea of his line last night. I know all of you know, but I have to say this again because it's amazing. He threw 7 2/3 innings. He gave up 1 run, which was unearned, by the way. Scattered 3 hits, walked 1, 15 strikeouts. And at 110 pitches, he was begging Jay Johnson to leave him on the mound. What more could you ask for from your Friday night guy? Now, I'll be honest. Until last night, and I'll say this right now. Cooper Moore has still been your best starter on the year. I know William Schmidt has looked his best. I know he's looked amazing, but I think Cooper Moore is your most consistent starter. He had a rough outing last week. It's still a quality start in my eyes. Last night, most of our LSU baseball team came together and were cohesive and had complementary baseball. Am I fully impressed with the offense last night? I'll be honest, no. I'm probably going to be the one person you hear today who speaks about the offense and not as much as a glowing side. I think the offense kind of got assisted, which they did. They could have looked better. If you spoke to me yesterday, you would know that my opinion on last night's game hinged on Cam Johnson. We all know Cam Johnson very well. He was here at LSU until he transferred to Oklahoma. We all knew his struggles with command. This is how I'm going to explain it to you to kind of describe Casey Evans and also talk about Cam Johnson. Casey Evans is a pitcher. He pitches. He locates. He has command. Cam Johnson is a thrower. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to downgrade Cam Johnson by any stretch of the imagination. That kid has more talent in his pinky finger than I had in my whole body. And if he ever figures out the command side of it, he's going to be a problem. He's going to live up to that billing of a top 5 draft pick out of high school. Right now, Cam Johnson is a thrower. Kason Evans last night proved to everybody in the country that he's a pitcher. And he's only a sophomore. Wrap it around your head, learn to accept it, pay your taxes, get it notarized. Kason Evans is your Friday night guy for the rest of this season and next season. William Schmidt is your Sunday guy this year. He's going to be your Saturday guy next year, barring any unforeseen circumstances or transfer portal additions, whatever the case may be. Learn to love Kason Evans. The last guy to throw 15 strikeouts for the Tigers in a baseball game was Anthony Ianson last year against North Alabama. The last time somebody threw 15 strikeouts against an SEC opponent in the SEC game, not the College World Series, also wore number 20. His name was Paul Skeens. Now, is Kason Evans Paul Skeens? No. Paul Skeens is an alien. He's not of this world. He's not of this planet. He plays for the Galactic All-Stars. But Kason Evans showed you that I would say that is his highest potential. You can't ask for much more than that because he was, aside from one walk and a couple hits scattered, damn near perfect. I think Kason Evans has earned some grace from his fan base. I see a lot of people saying, oh, the baseball geniuses, they were bagging on Kason Evans. Find me one clip where I bagged on Kason Evans, please. Please post it in my timeline. Because I know I haven't. If 85% to 80% of that Kason Evans shows up every Friday or every Thursday for the rest of the SEC schedule, you have a chance to win the opening game every week. Every week. It's time to give the man some grace. Let's all take a deep breath and relax. If you're still on the Kason Evans train, shouldn't be a Friday guy, I'd love for you to get in the comments, come let me know why. Because I'd be really curious to see what your argument is today and how you defend it. Tonight's another rubber match is going to be more important than last night. The fate of this game tonight hinges on LJ Mercurius. If the name Mercurius rings a bell, it's because the guy who came in for Cam Johnson and dealt Xander Mercurius, who's a freshman, which, hey, Johnson, if you're listening, please call Xander in the offseason. Kid looked phenomenal. If you recognize that name and were impressed with his ability last night, come take a look at LJ Mercurius. He's a Saturday night guy for Oklahoma, and I got a odd suspicion of how college baseball may be changing a little bit with the way things have been stacking up. He's going to be hard to hit tonight. Can the offense break out of their slumber, not a slumber, and give some run support for Cooper Moore? I hope so. We're going to need it. We're going to need it. But guys, we're 500 now in SEC play. It feels good to have an opening day win. Hopefully the Tigers can take care of it tonight and get the series win over number 8, Oklahoma. Before we get on to anything else, of course, I got to talk about Pick to Click. 1 second. In honor of Taylor Moderano of Warm Soda Films coming on the show this week, I figured I'd break out the 2023 Hayden Travinski signed autograph from that 2023 year. This is up for grabs tonight. I posted a poll last night and I made a video today talking about needing suggestions. And when I say need suggestions, I got other stuff to give away. It's not an issue. I'm just curious on what you guys may want, which may drive a little more engagement from the community about Pick to Click, because I fear about people getting tired of baseballs. So either call my worries or come give me some suggestions of what you may want. There's a couple things I'm thinking about doing that are a little bit more pricey that I am holding off of reserving on a good idea to do. I don't want to give away something at a high price on a Tuesday against, Tulane. It'd be kind of silly for me. I got to make it work for me as well, guys. I'm spending my own money. And the next thing we're going to talk about, we're going to do a quick little breakdown of Grambling. I promise you, I'm not going to spend much time on it. I really don't want to. I'm not. That's the reason I was going to record a show and post it Thursday, but I really just didn't want to talk about Grambling. I'll be completely honest with you. It's been a rough week for me. I've been tired, but matter of fact, I haven't been to sleep yet tonight, or today. But I'm here with you, and I'm excited. Last night's game gave me a lot of vigor. I'll be honest. Until last night, I was speaking with a close friend of mine, and the words I used was after the Grambling game that this team is becoming the offense is becoming indefensible. Last night I felt better, but I still need to see a little more out of the offense. Let's get to some comments real quick. Robbie, make sure, guys. Also, by the way, what's up, Robbie? Make sure if you want to get into the SEC pick'em, send Robbie your picks for the SEC weekend and DM him that. And I'm sure he would love to have as many people as he can. Make sure you send him your picks. I would say, especially on a Thursday week, let's get to him Wednesday. This week's done. He already got the graphic out. But for Fridays, let's try to get him to him Wednesday, Thursday. Help him out. There you go. And here, David Billiot, he has talked to this guy on the phone. He did. He finally called me back because he's too big time now to answer my calls. He has to call me back because he has, Micah Butel to talk to on the phone, Jake McKeever, all these guys. He's too big time for me now. Robbie, don't call me a stalker. That's not nice. That's not nice. All right. Let's do a quick shout out to the people who take care of us. Let's take care of them. We'll be right back, and we'll get into Grambling and then Oklahoma. Be right back. In South Louisiana, there's nothing we love more than God, family, sports, and food. For your next get-together, make sure you contact Lemise Sourdough Bakery. Whether you're gathering with friends and family for the big game or surrounding yourself with loved ones for a Sunday dinner, let Lemise Sourdough Bakery provide what you need to make it that much more special. Lemise Sourdough Bakery is a small batch, all organic bakery right here in the heart of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Go take a look at what's being mixed up in the kitchen next, as well as place your orders on Instagram at Lemise Sourdough Bakery. Don't forget to pick up your regular sourdough loaves, your jalapeno cheddar loaves, cookies for those late night snacks, and cinnamon rolls for those early morning cravings. Lemise Sourdough Bakery, where the first ingredients in anything made is love. Lemise Sourdough Bakery. Robbie trying to get me hurt. Do a Lane Kiffin thing for the Ole Miss series. I would, you know what, Robbie, I would do that. It'd be interesting. I would do that. I didn't like that camera angle. Would y'all want something with Lane Kiffin for the Ole Miss series? Let me know. Spread the word. Tell me what you want. I'm open to getting other things. I already am getting prizes for football season. Because I'm enjoying this, guys. If y'all enjoyed, I'm going to carry it over to football season now. Football season will be a lot cheaper on me because it's not as many games. But let's carry it over into football season, make stuff a little more, just have a little more fun with the game. Now, aside from Pick to Click, let's get into Grambling State real quick. I don't want to spend too much time with this. I'll be honest. We're going to look back on that game with a better eye, but I don't like that. The eighth inning put a lot of makeup on a lot of warts. What do I mean by that? You were out hit by Southern all the way to the sixth inning. it wasn't a good game offensively whatsoever, or really defensively in that matter in a lot of ways. The pitching staff looked good. The pitching staff really made a big turnaround against Grambling, and really that's the only reason why you won that game, aside from the eighth inning. I'm not gonna harp on it. I know we're upset in a loss. If I had a good friend of mine tell me that if we changed the name on the jersey and changed the emblem on the scorebug, we'd feel differently about that game, and he's right. But you can't do that. And I'll be honest, I should have been a 7 inning game against Grambling. That's why I don't want to spend much time on it. Kudos to the pitching staff for showing up the way they did, buckling down the way they did, and keeping the offense in the game as long as they did. But the bats left a lot to desire. Now, last night, Oklahoma. Before we get into Case Evans, let's talk about Cam Johnson a little more. Cam Johnson came out and he threw an inning and a third. He had 6 walks and he hit 1. And in his outing, that ended up giving up 4 runs without giving up a hit. And I did make a post last night where I spoke about, I think it was after the first, it was at the end of the first, that no matter how wild Cam Johnson is, and it's true, no matter how wild he is or how little control he's having throughout the game, he can still carve you up. That kid is still elite. He was a top 5 draft pick out of high school. He just wanted more money. That's the only reason why he showed up at LSU. They didn't give him the money he wanted. Pro scouts wanted him. He had control issues then. They didn't just creep up with Nate Yeske at LSU. That's not the case. Once Cam Johnson figures out some of his control issues, like for instance, last night he had 67 pitches, only 28 were strikes. You couple that with 3 errors in the second inning by his defense behind him, that's going to lead to not great day on the bump. Once Cam Johnson figures it out, and I kind of wish he could have stayed at LSU. I think there became an instance where he wanted more time on the mound. He wanted a bigger role, but he just didn't have the ability to throw strikes yet, and he had to walk. He had to go find somewhere to play, and Oklahoma welcomed him with open arms, which he deserves. He's a great pitcher. He's a great player. He just needs to work on some things. Once he figures that out, that's going to be dangerous. He's going to be dangerous, guys. All respect to Cam Johnson. He came out into Baton Rouge. He knew he was going to be facing a crowd that he knows how that crowd acts. It's not new to him. He was here. He had that crowd behind him. He saw that crowd react in his time here. He knew what he was coming into. He got on the mound. I think he tried his best. It just didn't work out for him. And his defense didn't help him at all. Now you scored 4 runs and you didn't have a single hit on Cam Johnson. Now granted, I'll give credit to the offense. They did what they were supposed to do. If a guy's not throwing you strikes, don't swing the bat. A couple of our guys did swing the bat and end up in a couple of the strikeouts that Cam Johnson had, but I'm not going to hold too much against him on that. What I didn't like was you have 1 out, bases loaded, bottom of the first, and you only scratch across 1. He got that. Those are situations that have been plaguing this team all year, and honestly, it's plagued LSU baseball for the last couple of years. We've all talked about it. Now, I always take these things as a grain of salt because every year is different, but that's something that needs to be picked up on. If you have bases loaded with 1 out, you have to scratch across more than 1. You have to. You did have better at bats going through the rest of the game. Some people are giving players a lot of grief that don't deserve it. Other players still in good graces because of how well they're playing on defense. And in all reality, last night our defense struggled behind the plate. We're going to get to that in a little bit, but yeah, it's. I don't want to get to that too soon. I don't want to talk about it too soon. Another pound. I'm gonna give a pound on the back to Xander Mercurius. He's the guy that came in relief of Cam Johnson. Now he's a freshman, hasn't had a whole lot of time on the mound this year. I don't believe from everything I saw. Last night he pitched. Now Xander pitched 5 innings. He gave up 2 runs on 5 hits and struck out 4. He legitimately put your offense in check in a moment where honestly all the momentum was in the LSU dugout, and he came out and finished that second inning for Cam and limited the damage. Jay Johnson, please call Xander. Please call Xander. And I'm going to give you a great example of why you need to call Xander, because we're facing this big brother tonight. Pat on the back to that kid to come into Outbox on a Thursday night. Crowd's rowdy. They're trying to will on his team, and you got on the mound and faced the barrage and worked your way through for 5 innings. That was a hell of a game he battled. All right, let's talk about the offense a little bit. I hate box scores. They lie to you. I say that all the time. Box scores and line scores lie to you on purpose. That's why you have the old saying. You have a little Texas leaguer pop into right field, left field, center field. It drops in for a base hit that you fisted off the label. It's a line drive in the box score. Box scores are great for collecting statistics. They're bad for judging how a game went. Here's an example. Stephen Milam. 0 for last night. 0 for 5. Now, he didn't have any strikeouts, which is good. And in 3 of his at-bats, he did his job. Plain and simple. He did his job. Moving runners over with less than 2 outs. Putting them in scoring position. Getting the guys in the lineup behind him opportunities for RBIs. He did his job. At the end of the day, especially facing a righty, bad from the left side, at the end of the day, no, Xander was a lefty. Anyways, at the end of the day, if you are in like at least a 2-strike count, which Milam did work a lot of counts, I was happy with that. And the offense itself worked a lot of counts last night. I mean, you had 67 pitches on Cam Johnson. He didn't help himself by throwing all those balls, but you worked a lot of counts. At the end of the day, when you are 2 strikes, trying to score runs, you've been so lethargic at the plate ever since the Vanderbilt series, which I'll be honest, the Vanderbilt series, they kind of hand us a lot of runs as well. It's good you take advantage of them, but when you've been so lethargic, you need to get back to small ball. Not exactly even small ball, fundamental baseball, moving guys over, hitting it behind the runner, doing things like that. And Milam did his job last night and did exactly that. He is, in my opinion, not just because he wears the purple and gold, not just he plays in Baton Rouge and Outbox Stadium, Skip Urban Field. He is the best shortstop in the country, hands down. Fight me. I don't care about Rock. Rock is a great shortstop. Do not get me wrong. He does not face the pitching Stephen Milam faces. He does not face the exit velocities off the bat that Stephen Milam faces. His batting average is not where we want it to be, not where Stephen Milam wants it to be. I don't care. He's doing his job. Do you care about Stephen Milam batting .330 or no errors in the field? Let me know, because I'll take the no errors and doing your job at the plate. Now, if you're striking out, that's where we got to talk. But if you're doing your job at the plate, you're not committing errors in the field, and you're creating web gems. And let's talk about the defense real quick and how it worked last night. Because I'll be honest, I didn't like something that Jay did. Second base is becoming a problem. Third base is already a problem. John Pearson is kind of filling that role when we need it. Trent Carraway started at second last night. But at the same time, you're shifting Milam to second base. Now, I know everyone remembers Jordan Thompson moving over for Gavin Dugas in 23. That's because Dugas was hurt. He had a shoulder injury. They were trying to mask that injury by giving Dugas some help at second base. As far as I know, we don't have injuries and anybody can play second base. Now you have some offensive issues. Steph Dardar hasn't been swinging the bat well. I see something with his swing. We're not going to get into that here. Braden Simpson, I think if he had a few more at bats, he would be having a better job at the plate. And I know Trent Caraway had a better night at the plate last night. I'm still not high on him. I'll be honest with you. Not right now. He has all the potential in the world. I mean, you heard on the broadcast last night. He had 12 home runs last season. 6 of them were in the postseason. So he has the ability. I just don't. There's a disconnect there. Personally, I'm not going to question Jay's judgment or Jay's opinion or Jay's lineups. Jay has forgotten more about baseball than I'll ever learn. I would have preferred to see Braden Simpson at second or third. If you have put him at second, put John Pearson at third. If you put him at third, put Dardar at second. I would prefer that right now. Just for the simple fact that you go look at the tape, Braden Simpson at High Point was nails at third. People forget he was a third baseman. I forgot he was a third baseman, I'll be honest. Thank God for David Billiot from Go Deep Dive. And Zach Nunez would Go Deep Dive. Go check them out on their post games. And David's writing with the no. But I don't like moving Stephen Mom to second, playing a modified shift with your infield to cover warts. I don't like it. You move Mom to short for a reason. When you get further into SEC play, you're going to have teams that can take advantage of that movement. I would prefer to see Mom stay at short and not moving so much, but it worked last night. That's all well and good. I think we need to shore up the infield. And while we're talking about the infield, we're talking about guys. Zach York. I don't know why I keep coming on here and telling you people. These guys see everything. You think you're helping them by doing what you did last night, guy? Not going to say your name. Not going to say what you did, but I said my piece last night in your post. But guys, he leads the team in walks. Aside from the runs given up by Cam Johnson, he drove in your only 2 RBIs on the base hit. In the 7th. Okay, he hasn't hit a bomb since what? I think week 2, maybe week 1. I don't care. He's nails at first. He's picking up errors by your middle infield, in your infield, preventing them with his pick jobs and his artistry at first. That kid is an artist at first. He's not Trey Morgan. No, he's not. Most people aren't Trey Morgan. You need to get those thoughts out of your head. Your Friday guy is not ever going to be Paul Skeens again. Paul Skeens is a once-in-a-lifetime guy. Your first baseman is not going to be Trey Morgan. I'll be honest. I know the history of LSU baseball. I think Trey Morgan's the best first baseman you've ever had at first base. You've ever had in the program. Get it out of your head. Get off of Zach York. If you start striking out more, if his defense suffers, then Jay will look at it. He's not going to have a liability on the field. You heard Jay talk about Case Evans when I started the show. He compared Case Evans to Bo Jackson on Tecmo Bowl. That's how much he thinks about that guy. The other day, he talked about William Schmidt being important to his personal health for the next 18 months. This program's in great hands. Matter of fact, I'll add this to it. Just popped in my head. I talked about a podcast a couple weeks ago with Doug Thompson and Will Helmers. And I saw a short of it today when I was moseying around social media. And I remember this moment, but I don't think I expressed it clearly. Doug Thompson talked about a conversation he had with Skip Burtman. And Skip Burtman said to Doug that they need to figure out a way to keep Jay in Baton Rouge. Now, Jay has publicly said the Yankees could call him and he wouldn't take the job. I don't think we have a problem with getting Jay out of town anytime soon, but they need to figure out a way to just lock him down and keep him here. Why? Skip said he's better than he ever thought about being. Skip Bertman said Jay is better than Skip ever thought about being. Let that sink in. Nobody knows more baseball than Jay Johnson or Skip Bertman. Just trust what he's doing, guys. I've come on here and I've said there's things that he's done that I don't like. But I'm gonna take the lineup and I'm gonna take what he's doing and go, okay, I trust you, Jay. You've earned it. He's won 2 out of 3, 2 and 4. Yeah. I think he's earned that ability. We talked about Zach York doing what he's doing at the plate. And guys, don't make me turn into my old self on X with all this hate towards Zach York and other guys. Don't turn me into the old me. I'm happy. I'm not having to worry about this or that. Buddy, it's getting old. It's getting old. Jake Brown was over 2, had 3 walks, though. I mean, the kid's human. Kid breathes oxygen. You know, he doesn't go fly across the night sky at night and solve crime. John Pearson was 2 for 4. He had a really great night. He had 1 RBI, and he also had 1 K. I'm pretty sure John drove in your first run with a base hit. I think he made that 5th run, if I'm not mistaken. Could be. Good night for John. I'm loving the at-bats he's getting. I'm loving his approach at the plate. He is taking some hacks that, he's trying to hit the ball into Tiger Stadium at times in the right counts. Let's talk about that real quick. Let's do some baseball knowledge real quick. The old adage of they're swinging for the fence, they're swinging out of their shoes, they're trying to hit home runs with every swing. No, they're not. You have regular count approach and you have 2-strike approach. You should have learned this with Tommy in 23. He was so good at 2-strike approach. There's certain counts, for instance, when you got a 2-0 count, 3-1 count, sometimes a 1-0 count, depending on the guy, where that the scouting report and everything you've seen with him throughout the game knows that, okay, in this count, he may be a 2-pitch guy. He may be a 3-pitch guy, but he's going to throw a fastball more than likely, and it's probably going to be a pitch I can drive. I'm fine with them swinging for the fence. There's enough power through this lineup where we talked about all preseason. There's enough power through this lineup to have double-digit home runs up and down the lineup. It's there. It hasn't shown up lately other than Jake Brown. I'll admit that. And Omar Cerna. Don't forget Omar Cerna. I'm not going to forget Omar Cerna. But if I know everyone loves baseball, especially here in Baton Rouge, and you love LSU baseball, take a moment and kind of learn the game. Last night, for instance, I learned something new. I love learning new things about baseball. I didn't realize that Casey Evans' unearned run he gave up could have turned into an earned run if he gave up a base hit there. I didn't realize that unearned runs could flip like that. I was never a pitcher. I did not want to be on that mound. I hated the thought of it. You can always learn new things about baseball. I suggest y'all do that and make it a little easier on yourself. All right. And then speaking of Omar Cerner, he was 2 for 3 last night with a walk. He had great at bats as well. Let's talk about the defense. So I'm gonna talk about Zach York because I had a message from somebody last night and they were asking me if Zach York was going to get benched. And this person, if you're watching, I love you to death. I'm not laughing at you. I get your concern. I told them no, he's not going to get benched. And if he was going to get benched, it wasn't going to be because of that throw he made to third. That it just kind of sunk on him. John got caught up with the runner and it got past him. That's not really a ding on anyone there. Would you like the ball up a little more? Yes. Like we talked about the throw to home the other night. Yes, I'd like to throw a little more up, but it's not a big crusher for Zach York there. I'm not going to get a lot of love for this. We need to work on receiving behind the plate. Let me make sure I get this right. I think he had what 7 and 2. Yeah, 7 and 2/3. Kaysen could have had 8 innings, if not more, last night if he gets out of the first inning with not having to have 3 strikeouts. Could have had 2, which granted, I mean, he still could hit 15. If he didn't, who cares? But there were a lot of balls popping out of mitts last night at home plate. I'll be completely honest. Now, if you ask my friends, they'll tell you that I was a Aaron Beatty truther, Aaron Beatty believer. I still am a believer in Aaron Beatty. Jay Johnson says he's going to be the best ball player on the squad before his time at LSU is over. And I believe Jay. Why do I believe Jay? Because he hasn't been wrong yet. Beatty, I've talked about this before. I'm not trying to just bag on him, but it's something that comes to mind every time I talk about Beatty. In the spring side of scrimmages, I'm sitting down in the loge boxes near the first base dugout watching a scrimmage, taking notes, things of that nature, just observing the team. And I hear Coach Simpson look into the dugout at Nippolt and the trainer. I think Yeski was there too. Maybe not. I can't remember exactly who everybody was there. But he says, hey, we need to invest in those Velcro balls and gloves so they stick. And that stuck with me because I was like, it's not. With a guy like Beatty, you don't make that joke unless it's pertinent. Does Beatty have the ability to do anything he wants behind that plate? Yes, he does. I don't know what the disconnect is. There's been a couple of times on throwdowns where a lot of people gave him gruff on holding the ball the other night. I think it was a good job. If you don't catch it cleanly and transfer it, you're not going to have the time to get the runner anyway. So why have a chance of sounding in the center or bouncing it? Just eat it. But there's been a couple of times with throwdowns. I think Beatty's pressing like the same way you press at the plate. He's pressing behind the plate. He knows the pressure that's on him. He sees a guy like Omar Cerna doing what he's doing. He's going, if I don't pick it up, maybe. I'll believe in him. And I believe in Josh Jordan. He's a hell of a catching coach, man. Alex Milazzo didn't show up to LSU he was a great catcher when he showed up, don't get me wrong. He wasn't the phenomenal catcher at LSU that he became because he was that in high school. I'm sure Alex Milazzo would tell you that himself. I believe in Josh Jordan. I believe in Beatty. I do believe there's some serious work that needs to happen. And I believe it is happening. I promise you, it's not going unseen by the coaching staff. Jay Johnson spoke about how when I ran that clip earlier, he talked about the team needing them more than anything right now. And he talked about having all the championships and having the staff he has, the best pitching coach in the modern era and in the country right now, the best analyst guy. He believes in his coaching staff, and he has the best coach staff in the country. And I believe they're going to figure it out. And I think they're going one bite at a time. They have after the first 2 weeks, they kind of grew an elephant of things to work on. And they're eating that elephant one bite at a time. I'm not hitting the panic button on Beatty. But I will say my hand's hovering sometimes. But I could be a little unreasonable as well. Let's get into tonight a little bit. Well, let's get some chats real quick. I see y'all in the chat. Let's say hi to some people real quick. All right. Robbie, give me control over hard throwing who doesn't have command all the time. Oh, give me control over hard throwing who does. Yeah. And so when I was watching the game last night, a couple people I was around, I was at work watching the game. And we're all watching it, and they were asking me about him because they remembered him from LSU. And I think I was texting somebody as well. They brought it up, and I said if he would give up a 1 or 2 mile an hour on his fastball and just focus on driving towards the plate instead of getting, I call it spinny, over rotating. Because I'm not a pitching mechanics guy. I'm prefacing this. Don't come at me. But if Cam Johnson, he's kind of getting, he's opening his front side and he's leaving everything this way. Every breaking ball is kind of falling off to his arm side. Every fastball is getting jerked to his glove side. That just shows spinniness. Casey Evans has that problem sometimes. He didn't have that problem last night. Not at all. But in his struggles, in those one inning struggles he'd get spinny. I call it getting spinny. You're just over rotating. You're trying to get a little bit more. You're trying to reach back, try to get a little bit more at times than you need to. Where if you just drive down the mound, use that rotation, and then get it linear, you'll be fine. Yeah. So if Cam Johnson would just do that, I mean, his breaking stuff was, when it was on last night, cool. It was filthy. It was filthy. Zach Nunez is in the chat. Thank you, buddy, for showing up. I blame OU's defense as much as I blame Cam. 100%. 100%. 3 errors in 1 inning on what I would consider routine plays. I mean, what was it? It was, tell me if I'm wrong, Zach. It was a throwdown from the catcher to third that scored 1. It was 2 throws, I think, from the third baseman to first. 2 bad throws from third. I think they were both from third. I could be wrong, though. But routine plays. Routine plays. For instance, talk about Stephen Milam again. The throwdown the other night, I think it may have been Sunday against Andy. Milam sees the back pick, goes behind third to do his job, saves a run from scoring by being there to back up the third baseman on the back pick. What can't that man do? What can't he do? David, I'm not sure a guy like Mercurius, sorry, I got a text message, guys. Leave Skip Johnson. He's already in good hands, and just watch Skip get the Witherspoon brothers drafted in the first 2 rounds. No doubt, but if one person can pull him away from Skip Witherspoon, the fake Skip, it'd be Jay Johnson and Nate Yeski. Seeing what they've done with his older brother, yeah, he may stay. Nunez agreed, super confusing. Talking about the defense. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like the defense shifting like that. It's just something that you don't have an injury at second you have to mask with a guy you want at the plate in the lineup. So we need to find a second baseman. We need to really find a second baseman, a third baseman, and just decide who's there. And I don't care what other factors you have that affect your decision making. You need to stick with it. Now, Alexandra, my good friend, have a great show. Thank you, Alexandra. She's such a sweetheart. She is such a sweetheart. David just said on Wednesday to media that Braden Simpson needs to put the ball in play more. He's hitting 292, but he struck out 13 of his 24 ABs. Yeah, that's the problem. And strikeouts and walks are going to get you no playing time with Jay. He's shown that. But I think with a few more ABs, he'd get out of that. Because also, I liked hearing the post-game interview, especially the one that David posted with Braden Simpson, that he was a player of the game. That's why he was up there in a loss, and he took the heat for his whole team. The kid cares. I love holding on to a guy like that and giving him every chance he can. AP, what's up, my guy? Check out Timeouts and Tangents. He's doing a great job. He may be meeting with somebody today. I'm not going to say who. The initials are RJ, but he has big things coming, and I love it. Let's see. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Karen, how you doing? Hey, Love you, Miss Karen. Zach is getting on base. If he gets there on walks, he is still on and can score. Exactly. And he has a few stolen bases. I don't know where he's at. I would pull it up. I don't want to mess up anything I have right here. He is. I know they're not technically stolen bases, but they count, and I love it. Bill Yacht. I think Cam is taking some off of his heater. He was low. He was as low as 92 last night. He was, and when he was as low as 92, he was throwing strikes. That's what I'm saying. He was up into 96, 97 last night at times, and it was kind of wild, to say the least. Rick Vaughn, Major League, wild thing. When he took some off, especially on the changeup, like with his changeup, he can. His changeup's a great example, actually. If you don't know how to throw a changeup, which I'm not perfect at it, but I have a good mindset of it. When you throw a changeup, you throw it in as hard as your fastball. Your grip is what's slowing it down, right? And you have multiple grips. You have a circle change. You have just a palm ball. You have many things. He feels comfortable with that because he knows his arm slot's good and he can just rip it. And his changeup was working great last night. I think that's the one pitch he had the most strikes on. Problem is, you get to that four seam grip, and he kind of get loose on you if you try to overthrow it, and that's all it is. I think he could end up throwing in the high 90s, in the upper 90s with control. He just has to develop it and get comfortable with it. Nunez, one of the back picks, the others were routine ground balls. Can't remember if both were third or not. Okay, so not that important. It just shows that the routine plays getting ate up with you on errors, they'll kill you. They'll absolutely kill you. And AP is right, guys. Like the video. Please. Like the video. It does more than you think it does. I'm giving y'all free stuff. Just like the video. Let's talk about tonight. If you liked Xander Mercurius last night as much as I did for Oklahoma, which I wasn't rooting for Oklahoma, just the kid was doing good. You may love his brother. His brother's a junior. He's coming in tonight with a 4-1 record with an ERA of 1.59 in 28 innings. This is the numbers that's going to really blow your mind. He struck out 41 in 28 innings in a third, and he's only walked 8. I'm not a mathematician or a math magician, but I'm looking at he's probably averaging over those 5 starts, 5 to 6 innings, and about a strikeout to a strikeout and a half each inning. I couldn't find much newsworthy about LJ Mercurius. So I did some MLB scouting report research, and this is what I heard about him. This is what I read about LJ. He has a hard fastball. He can top out 97, but it lacks shape at time. What does that mean? It's kind of like what I talked about with William Schmidt at the beginning of the year. He had the hard fastball. He could touch 98, but it was very flat. It was just this. There was no dive. Everybody talked about Paul Skeens' fastball moving 26 inches across the plate. That's what we're talking about. There's no late movement to the fastball. It's very flat. Very flat, very, very straight through the zone. That gets you hit. He hasn't been hit that much this year. So maybe he developed some movement on that fastball that since that scouting report came out. It was very recently. I think it was December, November of 25. That scouting report came out. So maybe he did. The other thing I read on it is slider. They described his slider as a gyro slider in the low 80s. Gyro is just not a word I like associated with opposing pitchers. That means it's pretty nasty. And then the changeup is he said has a developing changeup. So I'm looking at him. He's probably a 2-pitch guy for the most part. Slider, fastball, hard fastball, a gyro slider, which is I do not like the sound of that. I do not like the sound of that. The bad average against LJ Mercurius is what really worries me. It's 153. He's not giving up hits. He's not walking guys. And this is what I was talking about, my thought process of where college baseball is going with weekend rotations. you're seeing more and more guys on Saturday with the best stuff. Probably more, as David and Jay like to use the term, pitchability. Why is it kind of going that way? I could see Fridays being a more coin toss at times with certain pitchers because most of the SEC especially has two good arms, right? Two good arms. Oklahoma has two good arms, Cam Johnson and LJ McCurious. Friday, what if Cam goes up there and deals? Then last night's a totally different ballgame. But you after that, say you have a Friday night loss, it's important to get that Saturday game. We know how important it was. We know how much we need that Saturday game last weekend against Vandy. So I'm starting to notice that a lot of Saturday guys are being the best pitchability, best stuff guys. Is the SEC going? Look at Kaysen and Cooper Moore. I'll still say it right now. If you ask me who the best pitcher on his weekend rotation is right now, it's Cooper Moore. Why? He's consistent. He has really, really, really good stuff. He's a polished pitcher. This is first year starting for Kaysen. And he's in the Friday role. Cooper Moore has had starting experience, and he has better stuff. Is the SEC moving that way? That'd be a good thing for y'all to kind of get in the comments about and talk to me about. But it's trending that direction for me. Zach Nunez in the chat real quick. Struggled last week, though, just like Cam. I believe they played Texas A&M, correct, Zach? I believe they played Texas A&M. And I'm high on A&M this year. I think they're going to be a good team. They're not anybody to sneeze at. By the way, I heard Bluebell has a protein ice cream. Now, I'm fat. I get it. I used to be in good shape. But I'm going to have to look at that protein ice cream. Somebody tried talking to me about macros and micros, and I don't know. Just is it good for me or not? And yes, they did play Texas A&M. Thank you, Zach. Zach is I don't know what I'd do without Zach. Y'all need to show some love to Zach, man. Dave is doing an amazing job with Go Deep Dive and his work at the field. I promise you, Zach carries a lot of weight because David's real busy. Zach's carrying a lot of weight. Show some love to Zach. Make sure you go follow him at Zach Nunez TV and follow Go Deep Dive. Let's get into Cooper Moore for tonight. He has a 3.21 ERA and 28 innings pitch, 35 Ks, 7 walks. So very comparable to the LJ, except for the ERA and the batting average. Batting average against Cooper Moore is 243, and Oklahoma's hitting as a team 298. So I tried to find Cooper Moore's stats, and I bet David, because I see him in the chat, and hold on. Like I said, couldn't do it without Zach. That's right. Neither me or David could do what we're doing without Zach. I promise you. And I don't even get as much help as David does, but I couldn't do this without Zach. Anyways, back to what I was saying. I was trying to find more, and David, if you could find your notes from Cooper Moore's ERA or batting average against prior to last Saturday. I think last Saturday's game really skewed his numbers. Not saying we don't need to take those numbers into account. I just think if we take those numbers out, it may give us a better idea of the pitcher Cooper Moore is. I think he's going to be closer to LJ McCurious than what his numbers show right now. Tonight's game, and also I forgot to add this in, LSU's batting average is 285. Tonight's game hinges on LJ McCurious being a pitcher tonight and not a thrower like Cam Johnson. And it depends on whether or not the LSU offense can decide when to leave the bat on the shoulder. What I mean by that, last night, what was productive for them was leaving the bat on the shoulder. Whenever Xander came in, he was more in the zone. He was more controlled. He was pitching well. The bats didn't wake up like I would like them to. They need to attack in the zone. They need to be able to. Well, one more quick thing. LJ went 5 innings pitched, 6 runs, 4 earned, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, 2 walks last Saturday against A&M. Try to tell you, A&M's good. So the bulk of his numbers were compiled during non-con. And don't get me wrong, Oklahoma played some good teams in non-con. They didn't just play scrubs. He has the ability in him. Let's just tonight, if you're in Tiger Stadium. By the way, if you're not in Tiger Stadium, if you're in Alex Box tonight, come say hi to me. I will be down the right field line before the game. I'll be there early. Come say hi. I'd love to meet any and all of you. Come say hi. I'll be down there talking to David, bothering him while he's doing his work. I'm trying to get his credential pulled. But if you could just come say hi, I'd love to see you. If the offense tonight can, I was trying to describe this last night, actually, to AP on approaches and using scouting reports and how that influence your approach at the plate. And I was telling him it depends on a number of things. And I was talking about the approaches I would like to see from certain guys in the lineup. For instance, let's just get us off the bat. I'm not telling Jake Brown anything. I'm going to tell Jake Brown, do what you do, kid, because it's working. A guy like Derek Curiel, I'd like to see him jump on first pitch fastball. I want to see he's been hitting the ball well. Don't get me wrong. I'd like to see him be a little more aggressive at the plate. I love the fact that he can really work at bats and he can turn 0-2 counts into walks. But I'd like to see Derek kind of start hitting more lines and gaps and get aggressive in the zone. A guy like Milam, for instance, I would have him not as aggressive in the zone. I'd like to see him see a few more pitches. The only problem with that is the reason why I don't like the crowd when they say attack first pitch or work counts is you either on either side of the spectrum. I would have Milam, if you get first pitch fastball, drive it. If it's not, wait till you get a hitter's count. If you don't get into a hitter's count, just protect. Put the ball in play. All right. I know it's saying a lot. I know it's like, what a revelation by Paul. I get it. But let's go to another guy. Braden Simpson, he's in the lineup. I look at Braden Simpson and I would tell him to get out of his head. That's why his strikeouts are there. I tell him attack early, attack and hitters counts, lay off of breaking balls, period. I tell the same thing to Dardar. I tell the same thing to Trent Carraway. I wouldn't say as much to Zach York. He's had really good plate appearances. He's just been getting walked a lot, and he's hit it right at people. So I don't care what anybody says about that. Stanfield, leave him alone. He's doing great. Omar Serna, leave him alone. He's doing great. Yeah, that's about everybody I had to hit. But yeah. How do I put it? If LJ McCurris is on tonight, boy, we're going to need Cooper Moore to have a showing like Case Evans. If he is on. The gyro slider worries me. I'll be completely honest with you. I hope I'm wrong again. I was wrong yesterday, and I was happy for it. Well, I wasn't wrong. I thought Cam Johnson had better stuff. I thought he had kind of grown a little bit more under Skip Johnson in Oklahoma. But, yeah. I'm waiting on David to see if he gives me any stats for Cooper Moore real quick. And let's hit pick to click again real quick. Oh. By the way, Miss Peggy, if you're in here, DM me if you're going to be at the game tonight so I can bring all of your prizes because you're just on a heater. This, whoop, do it. All right, there we go. It's a beautiful frame, guys. Like, look at that. Like, it's pretty. Got a little LSU logo in the middle. Up for grabs. This is probably the most valuable piece of pick to click stuff I have right now. But and don't forget to get in the comments on my posts and tell me suggestions you want for pick to click. In the comments, do y'all want to do something for the Jesus One shirt tonight? Just let me know and I'll figure something out. David Billiot is in the chat and he has some stuff for you. So his 243 batting average against would be lower for sure. So he couldn't find the numbers for us, but having a 3.21 ERA, like he's saying, is still really, really good. Seeing what happened last week. Zach Nunes, it'll be right on left. 2. That slider will be scary. Need more right-handed bats tonight. Yeah. And Zach wants me to save my money for a pick to click. I'm just a giving guy, Zach. Just a giving guy. All right. So don't forget, pick to click tonight. I'm going to have it out as early as I can have it out. I'm not going to say any names, but I'm going to have it out as early as I can have it out tonight. Make sure you comment on the correct post and make sure you're following at Paul Jarrett 16 and Walk It Off Talk on X. And David Billiot, you're right. He is a righty. That is. I think Zach's talking about the slider being filthy and needing some more righty bats for that reason. So pick to click tonight. Make sure you're following. See, I can't, Zach. I can't do that. Jake Brown. I would love to do Jake Brown. I'm about to take Jake Brown out of the running for pick to click because he's costing me money. You want me to save money? You want me to buy more stuff for Jay Johnson? Do I want celebrities or no? David Billiot did give me Michael Butel last night. And Michael Butel, I doubt you watch this, but if you do, thank you so much for lending your voice and your name to that post last night. It was much appreciated, man. You're awesome at what you do. And I'm not bringing private conversations into the show, AP. I didn't use names. Someone's telling on himself. Anyways, pick to click. Stop bagging on the guys. Wrap your arms around this team. Let's lift them up. We did a great job last night. Let's continue to do it. Get out to the box, make it rowdy, make it hard for LJ McCurious tonight, and help out Cooper Moore. I may do a watch along. Hey, it's Alex. Great show. Hey, Alex. Oh, it's Alexandra. That's right. I thought it was Tiger Talk. I didn't want to say it was Tiger Talk because I didn't want to get it wrong. I'm sorry, Alexandra. Make sure y'all go subscribe to Alex's show on YouTube as well. I'm trying to get her back to working on our podcast because Alex is really, really good. Anyways, I'm thinking about doing a watch along tomorrow night. Let me know if y'all be interested in that. I'm not going to stream the game because I'm not doing that. But, it may be fun if you're not going to the game to stream it and, just stream and have like a little fun time. Maybe have some guests pop in here and there. Let me know what you think about that. But until then, I love you all. God loves you. And all he wants you to do is love him back. Speaking about that, all right. Jesus One shirt. Let's go. I almost said Chris Stanfield. Let's go Zach York. Zach York tonight. Anytime home run. If you comment Zach York on the pick to click post, you are in the running not only for the pick to click, you're in running for a Jesus One shirt if he hits a home run at all tonight. So Zach York. You heard it here first. Until then, God bless you all. Go Tigers. And let's walk it off.